One may say that life is unfair, but I will tell you that most of the things that happen in life happen for a reason. When Sophia discovered the problem in her home, she got worried and started making plans to restore joy in her home. Her first step was to add more effort and improve in her bedroom activity between her and Mr. Paul, her husband. There came a particular day in the evening. She dressed the bed as she was ready to carry out her plan on her husband. She saw it as an insult that she would be there and her husband cannot get satisfied after making love to her. Her husband gets satisfied only from masturbation. That is a sole sexual activity. She swore to change the style of the game for her husband and believed that after that her husband will forever forget he ever masturbated. Mr. Paul came back and picked his laptop to continue his work at home as usual, not knowing that Sophia had a plan for the night. Trust women, when they have such plan, nothing stands in their way. Sophia kept quiet, watching her husband opening his laptop to work. She stood up, closed the laptop and put it aside. Mr. Paul started explaining to Sophia how important it was for him to work that hour on his new contract, but that was a story she wasn't ready to hear. Now she is doing everything herself. She pulled him up and removed his shirt. At this time, nobody can stop Sophia. She must take what belongs to her. Mr. Paul has never seen Sophia like this. He was almost begging. Sophia said, "Mr. Husband, beg me all you can. I am sorry, but I cannot stop. Let me see if I am not woman enough or that I cannot play the game well." Too bad for Sophia, because immediately after that, her husband stood up from the bed, picked up his phone and sneaked into the bedroom to masturbate as usual. This is not happening again. Sophia peeped through the keyhole as usual and discovered that the husband was at it again. She wondered why all her effort that night came to no avail. She did all a woman could do to satisfy a man, but something was still strange about her husband's sexual life. Trust Sophia to always come up with an idea. Next morning, when Mr. Paul left for work, Sophia called a friend who is into ICT to come over to her house immediately. Her friend came and installed a device that was capable of paralyzing any mobile network in the house. After that, she gave her an app to install into her husband's phone. This app is capable of detecting pornographic images and gets them corrupt. Before her husband could join her in the bedroom, she stole his phone and installed the app. This is going to be a total frustration for Mr. Paul this night. But Sophia cared not. Mr. Paul was mad that night. His expensive mobile phone has never denied him network access. He went online to watch pornographic pictures, but nothing was working. Sophia pretended to be ignorant of what he was passing through. To Mr. Paul's greatest surprise, all his porn videos got corrupt. He suspected his wife, but he didn't know how to ask her. He had to leave the room totally confused. He left the room in search of solution. Nobody knows. When he left the room, Sophia was happy, for her plan was working. If Sophia had known that her plan was going to keep her husband away from home, she would not have implemented it. It was late at night, but her husband was not yet back home. Mr. Paul must have checked into a hotel or stayed back in her office because of bad network in his house. Some days later, something strange happened at night. Mr. Paul started moving while sleeping. It was obvious he was making love in the dream. The wife got up from the bed, picked her cell phone to record what was going on. It might not sound real if she is telling the story with her mouth, so she decided to record the incident to have evidence. After some time, her husband woke up from sleep and realized what was going on. He became ashamed and had to leave the room. He has messed himself up. Then, Sophia realized that the fight was not ordinary. She realized that the husband needs help. Mr. Paul, after cleaning himself up, returned to the room feeling so ashamed. He sat down in the bed without words. Sophia was speechless. All she could think of was to play the video for him to see. She dropped the phone on the bed to play the video. Mr. Paul reluctantly looked at the video, and the video made him to break down the more. When Sophia saw his mood, she moved close to him to console him. She held him close because she saw he could not help himself. Since every plan has failed, the only plan left for Sophia to suggest was prayer. They decided to go to God in prayer. The prayer lasted for hours. It lasted for days. When husband and wife hold hands together and decide to pray together, I think that can bring in unity, and unity can bring in love, while love can activate every emotion for maximum satisfaction of any kind. Right after the prayer, deliverance came. The strange woman left him. He jumped off from a dream where he saw the strange woman living unhappily. Sophia knew that the strange woman has been punctured by the prayers and as such would want to leave. She just held her husband. Sophia was happy, for she has taken back her marriage from the hand of a strange woman. If your marriage lacks prayer, it has lost the good text of unity that brings love. I want to ask, are men polygamous in nature? Let's find out from our next video coming up on Friday. Stay with us. Please help us to pass this information around by sharing this video. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure you turn on the notification bell for you to get our videos each time we post new videos. See you next Friday. Thank you for your support.